Good afternoon, folks. You know what day it is. It is Friday, and we're dropping a new episode 6, and it's featuring a badass bitch. I'm sorry. If you're not following her on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever platform, you are just a lost person in society, honestly. She's a
No.
big weight fighter, an empowered woman. She's a fighter out of Orlando, Florida, and I follow her. I look up to her. I'm inspired by her, and she has her own podcast. She's a podcaster, guys, just like me. The Kat Nelson Show on the Fight Bananas Network. Um, Please welcome a warm welcome, Kat Nelson. What's up, girl?
Hi. Hey, I'm happy to be here and thank you for the kind words. So,
It's the truth, man. It's the truth. Like sometimes I'm a little baffled. I'm like, yo, this girl's a badass bitch. Like, shit.
no.
Honestly, like, you're an inspiration to like me and a lot of women out here. We're in the fight game, we're in the fight world, and so being a woman in the fight world is very challenging. And that's the thing, like, you're not only dealing with like um the statistics, you're dealing with the stereotypes, you're dealing with, the pressure between are you good enough or not to fit in this world, and you're proving to a lot of people, but at the same time, honestly, it's about you and your growth. It's not
Right.
about like proving it like, hey, I'm a badass because I want to prove to you. No, you're just a natural badass. And that's why I wanted to have you on this show. You're the first woman on this show. So
Woo!
I wanted
Yes.
to make sure it was a big deal. I have a lot of people too that I'm going to have some great women on this show. The main point of this podcast is to just empower women. I love combat sports. So do you. And I love a lot of other different subjects that I'll touch on this show. But I wanted to have you on here because right now you're like growing. 2020 has been really good for you. Honestly, like we'll get into a lot of different details later on. So how are you doing today? What was your day like today? Walk us through it.
Well, training. I train almost every day, so that's what I do in the mornings. And honestly, today I came home and did nothing. Absolutely nothing, and I waited for you to call me.
I'm blushing right now. I'm blushing, honestly. Um, that's great. I mean, yeah, I love training. So, what types of like fight styles do you train?
Well, I go to Fusion XL Performance in Ocoee, Florida, and we have a lot of, we're a fight gym. We have a lot of MMA fighters, we have a lot of pro fighters, we have fighters in UFC, one championship. They compete all over. So I don't really like have a specific fight style anymore. I came from Taekwondo,
Hmm.
but ever since I joined Fusion, I've been doing literally like everything, mostly grappling, but it's funny because I'm a striker, so I
You know
consider
what?
myself a striker.
That you keep winning these tournaments and like jujitsu matches. So, like, honestly, I see
Yeah.
you're a grappler too at this point. You got the belt of
Yeah, I
striker.
know.
Call yourself a grappler, girl. You're not only a striker, but a grappler too. Watch out,
Yeah.
people. She's a grappler too.
Yeah, I'm trying to set my mindset more into the mixed martial artist. So, yeah.
Right. It takes time to develop both. You got to learn how to
Mhm.
be on your feet and learn how to be on the ground. I feel like I'm more comfortable on my feet too than being on the ground.
Mhm.
And I had somebody explain to me one time. They were like, Lisa, I feel like you're not good. I was like, I struggle in jujitsu. I
Yeah.
I do, because he was like, I feel like you're such a dominant. You don't want to be overpowered. You don't want to submit. And
Yeah.
in grappling, you have to really learn how to put yourself in a vulnerable position to get submitted, you know?
Mhm.
And the object is to not get submitted, but it happens. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why I struggle because I don't want to get submitted. So that's
Yeah,
why I stick to the stand up.
yeah. I didn't have any experience in grappling when I started at Fusion, so that's why I'm like I feel like I've been there for 2 years now and I still have so much to learn and so many holes in my game. But yeah, it's freaking dangerous. Like Khabib, what does he do when he fights everybody? He just
Put him
takes
to
them
rest.
down. They're amazing strikers, but if they can't defend themselves or get up off of the ground, then it's over.
You're in trouble for sure. So talk to me about your last fight. I think it was the XFN fight,
Yeah.
or like an MMA fight, because I know you've been doing tournaments here and there. But there was your last fight. You won that fight. I watched the footage. I watched the fight because you know it's so funny. That's how we met, sort of.
Yeah. Oh.
I went to combat night in Orlando. Okay, backstory for all the folks out there watching how we met. I went to combat night. It was the first combat night that Mitch had, like where everybody could come. And I
Yeah.
drove from here to that event because I'm honestly I love Mitch and like he supports both of us.
Yeah.
He's really good. And of course I was gonna show love. And then you're bartending. I did see the fight on Flow Combat and I was like, oh shit, that's a bad bitch. She won. And the Gloria, she's out of the goat shed and the goat shed has a bunch of people there. Like I
Oh
feel
yeah.
like that was a really great match. Two warriors, and I saw that, and you won, and I was like, wow, she's a she's amazing. And then I met you, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so sweet. Like you're two sides, like you're completely different sides. And
Yeah.
then I was like, okay, yeah. I was like, hey, you won your last fight, right? And meanwhile, you're giving me a drink too at the same time.
Yeah, I do a lot. I do like everything. It's crazy.
You are an entrepreneur for sure. And so we met, and then I was like, okay, I think she's gonna be a cool guy. Like, honestly, I'm trying to get into the Orlando scene. I've had a couple gyms invite me over to see if
Yeah.
I can come, roll around and strike a little
Yeah.
bit. I do have some intentions on going back. I just have to. It's right now. It's Christmas time, holidays, and a lot of gyms had closed down for a while, but I see we're all opening up. I will make
Yeah.
my way to Orlando, and we could definitely do a sesh, and that would be
For
that'd be
sure.
that'd be a good time. And honestly, your gym is a really great gym because I know they won a lot of fights that night at that combat night too.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
decent. Um, so you're an amateur fighter. What's your fight record right now?
It's I have 3 kickboxing fights. I'm 3-0, and I have 2 MMA fights. I am 1-1.
Okay.
So
When's
yeah.
the next time in the fight? Like, I'm excited for that type of like. I need to be there for sure.
Yeah. I haven't fought like my last fight was about 6 months ago, and it's just we just haven't found like an opponent. Things just aren't haven't worked out with promotions, and I've decided, like not to stress about it and just kind of go with the flow, do grappling tournaments while I can, and just learn as much as possible as I can before I get a for sure confirmed fight.
Well, I mean, it has to be a struggle because honestly, it's really scarce to find a lot of female fighters. And I know that when I
Yeah.
started like training, all I do is like train with men. And not that I don't
Mhm.
like training with men, I like training with women too because I got a match. But then the problem that I was always having is that I am very aggressive. And so then you would have the women that don't want to fight with you, in the gym. And so, I mean, what is it about fighting that like empowers you? Like, this is what I want to do. This is my lifestyle. Just so other women can know it's okay to have this lifestyle. You can be
Yeah.
sexy, you can be badass, and you can also know how to be a fucking beast too. So, what is it about the fight world that empowers you to keep going in it?
Well, I actually like I said, I have a background in Taekwondo. I've been doing it since I was a little girl. But I felt like I used to be, you said you met me and you said I was sweet. So
Yeah.
I've been like this all my life. And when I was younger, I just feel like I used to be taken advantage of a lot. So, and uh, it's not abnormal because it happens to a lot of females. And
Absolutely.
I just, there was a point where I was just like, you know what, like, I want to get into this. And I started it as a hobby first. And then I was like, I feel like it can take a fight. Like, let me do this. And I just like confidence. That's, that's what I can say about knowing how to literally like be able to be a woman, and I can defend myself from a man. I can beat up. Like I beat up some of the dudes at my gym. So it's just a confidence thing. Like I don't walk around anymore like all intimidated and shy. It's more like don't fuck with me. Like
Yeah, I love that because
mhm.
it's like a transformation. It's a
Mhm.
transformation. And I honestly try to recommend jujitsu or like any kind of like fighting sport to any women because it does give you that sense of confidence. I like you. I was very naive when I was younger, and yeah, a lot of people have taken advantage of that niceness of you.
Yeah.
That feeling you take. Don't take my kindness for weakness. And some
Mhm.
people prey on people that are nice and gullible and like naive. And me, I did that for so many years until one day I was like, enough is enough. Enough
Mhm.
is enough. I was also trying to do like a lot of health changes to my life, and I didn't know I was hitting a wall. Like I'm not making any changes. I'm trying to do all these changes because nothing's happening. So finally, somebody recommended it to me, like getting into mixed martial arts, and here I am now. I'm a confident. I'm doing this podcast. I'm doing everything I can that makes my heart desire. And if you come up to me and try me, I'm gonna deck you in your shit because I'm well trained to. Like, not that I
Hey, keep
not that
playing.
I'm looking for a fight. Not that I don't. That's the thing. I'm not an aggressive person. You know, all the time. If
Mhm.
you push me to my extent where I can't take it anymore, that's when I'm gonna defend myself. And
Right.
that's what women need to understand. It's okay to stand up for yourself, stand up for your rights, stand up for your presence.
Mhm.
Women have such a power that it's just bottled up because there's so many men and like society bottles this up. And then when you
Mhm.
get to that breaking point, you know what? It's like a metamorphosis. You go from
Mhm.
caterpillar to butterfly. And I feel like we're in our butterfly stage right now. And
Yeah.
you're just beginning. I can't wait to see you in another fight. Like I definitely you gotta let me know when the next fight for sure. I'll
For
definitely be there.
sure.
Bitch, set it up, bro. Like we need a fight. We need a
Yeah.
fight for about that. So I know that you also have a business. You're an entrepreneur for sure. Can you tell us a little bit about that business?
Yes. So it's called Black Lab Organics. It's just a dog treat business that I wanted to make organic, all natural. I started with all natural, but our name was Black Lab. I was like, I gotta throw some organic stuff in here too. So it's, it's all natural, organic, and my goal is to add CBD. So have CBD infused treats with real ingredients for dogs, and I really just want to like help educate dog owners on their dog's health and the difference between giving them real foods and fake ones with a bunch of chemicals and preservatives and all of that. So that's the goal. I started it during the coronavirus, like when we were all on lockdown. and I mean I had nothing to do, so I was like, let me get this started. And
Yeah.
it's online, so it was perfect. And then that's that's it from there. Now I'm helping dogs be healthy and happy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's great because honestly, I bought some dog treats. I tested it
Yeah.
out with the dog, and he loved them. And I
Mhm.
did a second order. I'm waiting on that to get here. Like I literally
Mhm.
keep checking the mail every day. Like, did it come yet?
Uh, it's coming soon.
I'm sure it'll be here probably tomorrow. Watch, it'll be here tomorrow. I was hoping to have it here so I could like show it off on the.
Oh dang.
It's all good though. But like I said, like you're like just an inspiration. I'm so glad that you have built this confidence in you. You have your podcast. How did you get the podcast started too? Was it like a quarantine thing and Fight Bananas just like came at you, or like I know you guys are really well, we're connected together.
Yeah, so David Van Alken is the uh, owner of or founder of Fight Bananas, and he wanted to add a female hosted like segment to Fight Bananas, and he wanted that female to have their own show. And I guess he had like two other female fighters in mind, and um, he just came across me and he asked me, and I was like, sure, I'll try it out. And I think this is a way for me to have this platform and have people hear me out. And it's also like a form of expression for me too.
Hmm.
So that's why I want to use it towards woman empowerment, towards cannabis awareness, and any other thing that like my guest wants to talk about, like promote themselves, share their business or whatever it is. Like I just want to have positive vibes on there and just keep inspiring and motivating people.
Love it. And I love it. And I love that like we're both like on that same like journey. And I was like, hey, you have a podcast? I have a podcast. I have
Yeah.
this one podcast.
Yes. Well, you got to
Honestly,
be on mine next.
whenever you're ready, honestly, let's just book it in.
We'll set
um,
something up.
Speaking about cannabis, like we both rep, Fusion CBD like to the death of us. Honestly, like I love their products. I use it. I use so many different products of theirs. I live on like a routine now with the
Yeah.
products. Um, and obviously, like I really do support the cannabis community, and it has made a change to my life. I deal with my own type of anxiety and
Hmm.
pressures, and like I'm an overthinker sometimes. And so, with the cannabis, it does help just like keep me in a nice zen state, and I'm able to just focus on what is really important. So, how has like the cannabis influenced you in your lifestyle and in your fight style?
So in my lifestyle, I actually had a phase where I turned to other drugs and alcohol and the things that are not so good for you. And I did that for a little bit. I still think about those times and I'm like you kind of know why, but at the same time you don't. You were younger, you were immature.
Yeah.
So there was a point where I realized like this is really bad for me. Like this is not good for me. I'm literally like deteriorating my body and my mind. And so I actually got into the whole like fight scene first.
Hmm.
And that helped me get out of that and break through that.
Hmm.
And I used cannabis more of like a medicine.
Right.
So I'm hurting from training, a nice fat joint, and I'm good for the rest of the day.
Good night. Good night sleep.
Yes, exactly. So so yeah, I love it. It's helped me. I've witnessed it help other people. I never try to force anything onto anybody, but I always recommend it if people ask or if they're seeking help. I mean, marijuana.
Honestly, I'm on that tip now. Like to the point where like right now my mom's in CBD phase, because like she
Okay.
knew that I would like smoke, and she was so against because sometimes like my family's very religious, and there's nothing around religion. I was raised in that kind of way, and I have my ideals, but and my spirituality. But I'm an open person. I'm open to the universe. Open to the world. I'm open to different ideals, different views. I don't like to be judgmental. I'm just like a go with the flow kind of vibe. And so when I introduce cannabis to my life, I just feel so different. I feel like myself. I'm able
Mhm.
to not overthink everything and everybody's opinions and what they think about me, what they think about what I'm doing, what I'm wearing, how I talk. It doesn't care. I don't care about that shit. I'm just being me. And then I also would do that before training, and I felt like I focused more on my
Got-
training, and I felt natural, and I felt like myself, and I felt loose, and I'm like, all right, it's gonna be a good day.
Yeah, no, for training or smoking before training is pretty good.
Yeah, I don't feel like full joint, like just a little hit here and there, and then like, all right, I'm good to go. Let's go for a nice roll. Let's go for a nice kickboxing match. But cannabis is I'm pro cannabis. Um, People got to get with it, and my mom was against it for a while, and I was just like, listen, lady, like you don't understand until you know, like until you try,
Mhm.
and that's the thing. People are so judgmental, even if they haven't tried it. Like, how do you know
Mhm.
anything until you try something? And so finally, I started the CBD products, the fusion, and then I gave her my capsules of the muscle and joint because she has like arthritis and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, try this. Do me a favor. Trust me. I'm not gonna put you in a place where I want to harm you. You're my mom. Like I want you to feel good. And she started taking the capsules. And she's like, Lisa, I'm forever changed. Like, I can't believe it. And I was like, we have to, like, I need you to just take the whole bottle for like the time, and then we're gonna do a testimony, and then like we'll video it up. And I want you to be like, a little like, I want you to give a review because it's true. It does help people,
Yeah.
and I've seen so many different stories of just marijuana and can like CBD. It's great for your health, and it's natural. It's herbs. Like I'm still against
Yeah.
like products that are so processed and fake and shit. So I'm glad that
Yeah.
you're people out here being the
For-
pioneer for pushing the marijuana.
yeah, and your mom, like you said, you come from a religious background, and I'm sure, like just like my parents, they were raised in a different time, and uh, marijuana was like the what was it called? The devil's
The
plant
devil's
or
plant. Yep.
yeah. So it's like it's understandable, and when people are told that for such a long time, they're gonna believe it. Another thing that I wanted to mention was that you said that when you smoke, you feel more yourself, and I feel like when you are more in tune with yourself, you realize that we are all connected, and that includes nature, and marijuana is grown from the ground. It's nature, and yeah, like we're born with THC receptors in our brain. I and I'm pretty sure, like I have to do more research and read all the science, but this plant was made for us, and it's been taken away because of big pharma, and people want to make money.
Right. Right. Man, I'm glad you're on the team, the marijuana team. I'm okay with that. So, I mean, I really do want to explore more about you. You have an OnlyFans as well. How did you get
Yes.
that started too?
All right. So I also started that kind of like when we were in lockdown pandemic mode. It was actually towards the end, like when things started opening up.
Yeah.
And I realized that I didn't want to go back to work. I was like,
Boy, it's
yeah,
been 5 now.
yeah. I was like, I don't want to go back to this job. So, I actually have a friend that has helped kind of like mentor me through it and start it up and all that. And I've been doing it. I don't know how long I've been doing it, but I've been doing it, and I've I've been, I've been judged, and I've had people tell me all types of things, but it's working for me. I'm happy, and I'm paying my bills, and I have food on my table, and that's you know that's
That's
me.
it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't see it as that. I do see other people doing, like, jumping on the bandwagon of the OnlyFans, but I feel like you are a great candidate for that. I feel like you're awesome at it too. Like, it's like seductive. It's not trashy. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
People think it like they correlate that with being trashy. You're not. You're a
Yeah.
sexy, empowered woman,
Right.
confident, and you're not afraid to challenge yourself. And it's like, and you're not giving it all away. I mean, I haven't really tapped into the OnlyFans. I haven't been on that base yet. But as far as the content that you put out, I'm like, okay, it is alluring, it is eye catching. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So you're, you're reeling them in, and
Yeah.
you're well. And I'm like, I applaud it. I'm like, yes, girl, do it.
Oh,
Trust
thank
me.
you.
Get that fans up.
Yeah, man, like yeah, it's the same with any other type of like business. You have to market, and that's something that I had to tell myself too, like because I do have my Instagram page, that I used to promote fighting and like events in my life. So I was like, do I want to add this to this? And I've separated a lot of things, but it took me some time. uh, but yeah, I gotta put the booty out there sometimes, and
Well, Kat, I don't want to take up any more of your time. You have been such a great like interview today. Like I said, this was like a natural vibe. I wanted it to be natural. I had a few questions that I wrote down, but I wanted it to be a good vibe between us. I'm planning to try to come to Orlando soon. I definitely want to visit you guys at your gym, have a good time, get a good roll on, get some good, mitt work, good striking
for
session
sure.
with you. Because like we do need to empower more women in getting into the fight game. I
Yeah.
this is my goal. By 2021, I want to see more women fighting. I want to see more women putting them gloves on, getting to the gym, not being scared, and they hitting the bag, or they hitting these guys out here that think that they're the shit.
Mhm. Yeah, no, for sure. Just like, and if they don't want to compete, you don't have to. You can just go
Have
in there.
to.
And, yeah,
Exactly.
it's seriously like one of the best workouts. We're starting to see a lot more women only classes or rolling sessions. So yeah, I think it's working, and keep doing what you're doing, and keep motivating, inspiring people.
Yeah. I think like the part of it that is most important to me is the self defense part.
Yeah.
It's so important. It really does hurt me when I see something on the news or on Instagram about some girl, she got beat up, or her boyfriend's this and that. It really does irk me, and I'm just like, oh, if you could just go to, like, just like
Mm-hmm.
one class will change your life, and one class changed my life. One class
Yeah.
changed, and like
Yeah.
I just want other women to be able to feel that same feeling that I felt, that I can do anything. and I can achieve goals and I can break barriers and I can make a change in this world if I just step up and speak up and learn how to just be a more confident, more powerful, more empowering, and empowering others around you as well. I think is a good way of letting that out because you don't want to see yourself succeed, you want to see also other people around you succeed too. So that's the thing about it. And I definitely want to see you succeed. I'm looking forward to seeing you
Thank you.
too. Definitely going to schedule something. And thank you so much for coming on this show. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. And
Yeah, thank you for having me.
yeah, man, and I'm looking forward to getting on your podcast too. It's going to be a good time. All right, thank you so much for tuning in to the Lisa with a Z podcast. Episode 6 was a hit. Thank you so much, Kat. We will definitely talk to you soon.
Yes, thank you. Have a good night.